Hello, and welcome back to Educator.com AP World History. We're in period 6, which is 1900 to present. And in this session, we're going to look at how states responded differently to the economic challenges of the 20th century. And of course, I think you should think maybe there is two major kinds of economic ideas, philosophies, and they are, yes. So first, we'll look at the communist way. Now, we have two huge countries that become communist, China and the Soviet Union. And one of the aspects of this, of their policies, of economic policies, was at the heart of communism. And they believed that the economy had to be controlled. And as we're looking at what we're going to do with our economy, there was one large issue. And that large issue is industrial output. How can you be a strong nation and protect yourself and to enlarge your influence unless you're an industrialized nation? And both the Soviet Union and China were behind the West. So, what can they do about that? Well, so as you look at it and you look at statistics about industrialization, a key factor would be steel production. So both countries went after steel production as a precursor or as a part of industrialization. Lenin in Russia instituted the 5-year plans. And this is in the 20s. And these plans were largely successful in moving Russia from being way behind to being in there with the big boys. In China, Chairman Mao, and now this will be in the 50s, he's decided on another program. And he called it the Great Leap Forward. So in other words, we're behind. And we can't just move along at a regular pace. We got to leap forward. Now, he had 5-year plans too. And that got lots of people to come to the cities. So urbanization, where industry is going to take place, but people have to eat. And so the countryside, of course, provides the food. And he used Lenin's idea of the cooperatives. So that instead of farmers owning a piece of land or large landowners owning a huge piece of land and having tenants work those smaller farms, those people were gone. And they set up huge farms in which people worked what they were supposed to do, and they worked as a group. And their idea was to produce the food for the urban workers. However, the urban workers weren't getting enough food. One of the things I learned in looking at this over time is the idea that, especially true in China, that socialism or communism, if one believed in it strong enough and lived according to its principles, you could overcome physical barriers. So if you had farmland that wasn't producing well, if you used socialist methods, it would produce well. You could even get production off of land that wasn't productive at all if you were the proper kind of socialist. And so when people had this belief in them and they went out to do this work, it was pretty discouraging to see time after time that it didn't work. But if you really believe the thing that you got to fix is not work better land, but be more socialist, be a better communist. So this system like that, it wasn't working. So Mao's secret weapon to get more steel was peasant power. You know, he was successful because in taking over China, because he harnessed the power of peasants behind his movement. So why not do it again? Why don't they produce steel? Well, here's some pictures, some photos that show you some of the activity. And in this one here, I think you can see, if I can make an arrowhead, you can see the people. Here's people. They're working with these furnaces, these little furnaces here, it's fairly small. And in this photo here, you see at night these furnaces fired up. Why is it at night? Because they have to work the fields in the daytime. Can you imagine what this was like? Can you imagine what kind of steel was produced by this method? Not very good. But Mao, he didn't have much experience in knowing how metallurgy works. So he thought this would work. And he forced people to do this. And it was a great, great hardship. The great leap forward was many steps back. And it caused